Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he went to Medina, and there was a wedding. One, Aisha radiallahu anha was telling the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that we had a wedding today, and so got married to a person from Ansar, and he said, did you have some form of entertainment with you? Did you have هل كان معكم له فإن الأنصار يحبون له أو كما قال صلى الله عليه وسلم, that the people, the Ansar people of Medina, they like this kind of entertainment, singing and the deaf or the drum and so on. The Prophet ﷺ also appreciated the way a group of black Africans or Habasha or Abyssinians who were actually dancing with their spears and drums inside the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, and he encouraged them to go on, and he asked Aisha if she wanted to watch, because it was a day of Eid, it was a festive atmosphere, and this group of Habasha or Abyssinians, they actually wanted to express their joy, and he allowed them to. And one example, because we don't have much time, of how the Sahaba actually appreciated the other cultures. Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anhu, he was a great warrior and commander. He went to a war for many years with the Byzantine Romans. But one time, when he was talking about the Romans, or Arum, or the Byzantine Romans in particular, he said, there are 4 excellent qualities that these people have. And this is narrated in Sahih Muslim, and that's Amr ibn al-As talking. There are 4 excellent qualities that these people have. They are the most forbearing in times of discord. They are the quickest to recover from calamity. They are the most likely to renew an attack after retreat or after being defeated. And they are the best of people toward the poor, the orphan, and the weak. And, he continues, and they have a 5th attribute which is both beautiful and excellent, and which is that they are the best of people in checking or fighting against or pushing back the oppression of kings. This is Amr ibn al-As talking about the people with whom he had wars for so many years, and praising them because they had good qualities that are in line with Islamic teachings and in line with good human behavior. So now we talked about the impact or how Islam or how Sharia dealt with culture. Now, did culture have any impact on fiqh? Because we can't say it has impact on Sharia, because as we heard in the previous talk by Dr. Jamal Badawi, if you were there, that Sharia is divine and Sharia is there and is constant. But the fiqh actually is affected a lot by the culture. Among the adillatul ahkam, or the sources of ruling in fiqh, if you go through usul al-fiqh, for example, the adillah or the sources of ahkam, one of them is al-urf. It comes, of course, after Quran, Sunnah, Ijma', Qiyas, and so on. And then there is al-urf. What is al-urf? Al-urf is custom. Al-urf is a practice of a group of people. Urf, or sometimes it's called ada or habit. So habit, urf, custom, culture, you can use them synonymously. There is one of the 5, there are 5 major axioms of fiqh. According to Imam al-Shafi'i, 5 major axioms are called qawa'id, al-qawa'id al-fiqhiyya al-kubra, the grand rules of fiqh. One of them is al-'ada muhakkama, meaning custom can be a source of ruling. It can be a source of ruling based on 2 conditions. The first condition is that it has to be prevalent. It has to be culture that is actually, practiced by the majority of people or by everybody. And the second, very obvious, of course, rule is that this culture or this custom should not collide with or should not contradict an established Islamic ruling. So, for example, if you live in a culture where only the firstborn the firstborn inherits, then we say, no, that's not acceptable. Allah has told us exactly who's to inherit. If there's a culture where it's acceptable that a male relative, like a cousin or a brother, would come to someone's house, husband is not there, the wife is there by herself, and it's acceptable to go in and be in just the 2 of them, the relative and the wife, or even spend the night there. If that is acceptable in some culture, that cannot be accepted by Islam, because the Prophet ﷺ told us very clearly that man and woman should not be in khalwa or in seclusion. For example, even in things that had to do with marriage contract. In some countries, when you say the dowry, the muqaddam or the advanced part and the delayed part, two different cultures or two different interpretations. One is that the delayed part is due upon divorce or death of the husband, and one is the delayed is due in sometime during the first couple of years, or according to if nothing is specified in the marriage contract, a judge would go by the urf, or would go by the custom. But there are there are things that they're kind of on the light side. How about men wearing skirts? How's that? That is acceptable, right? If you're a Scot and you're wearing a kilt, it's a formal dress. Or if you live in Malaysia or somewhere and you wear a sarong, and you're a man and you're wearing something that looks like a skirt, it's acceptable because it's just the urf. Men wearing gold jewelry, for example, should that be acceptable? No, because Islam, the gold is made haram for the males of the believers. So this is, again, custom or urf is a very important source of fatwa, of fiqhi declaration, or even in the court of law, and it is considered, as I said, al-'adatu muhakkama is one of the most, or the highest level of the five most important rules of Sharia, or fiqh, sorry, according to Imam Shafi'i. So in conclusion, the diversity of human culture or cultures is a sign from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It must be valued, cherished, celebrated, and we're happy about this. Is how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us one of his signs and beauty of the creation of Allah, among the various sources of beauty. No one culture is inherently better or superior to another, except to the extent that the people actually observe their duty to the Creator and stick with principles that are in line with divine guidance. Islam does not force, and this is inshallah, I hope Imam Zaid will touch on this. Islam does not force you to adopt a culture. When you become Muslim, if you are an Indian Muslim, an Indian Hindu, and then you convert, you become an Indian Muslim, you don't become an Arab Muslim or a Turkish Muslim. If you are an Egyptian, so I could just imagine that several hundred or 1400 years ago, a little kid in Egypt, asking his father, well, can I be both Egyptian and Muslim? But it sounds ridiculous now, right? Can I be Indian and Muslim? Can I be Malay and Muslim? And now we have those people asking the question, can I live my American culture or whatever subculture it is that I live by and be a practicing Muslim at the time? Of course the answer is yes. Then finally, the urf or custom can be a source of ruling, source of juristic rules or ruling, as long as it's prevalent and as long as it is also, it does not contradict an established ruling of Sharia. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to benefit us from what we say and what we hear. And jazakumullah khair for listening. قولوا قولي هذا واستغفر الله العظيم لي ولكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Jazakallah khair, Dr. Abdallah. Thank you very much for a wonderful speech. It's very important to learn about our faith so that we understand how to deal with culture. So this was very informative and inshallah beneficial. I'm here now to introduce you Imam Zaid Shakir. Imam Zaid Shakir does not need any introduction. He was born in Berkeley, California. He accepted Islam in 1977 while serving in the armed forces. He has a bachelor's degree in international relations from American University in Washington, D.C., and a master's degree from Rutgers University. He has studied across the Muslim world, including Syria, Egypt, and Morocco, graduated from Syria's prestigious Al-Nur University after 7 years of intensive study. He co-founded Masjid al-Islam, the Tri-State Muslim Education Initiative, and the Connecticut Muslim Coordinating Committee. In 2003, he moved to Hayward, California to serve as a scholar in residence and lecturer at Zaytuna University, Zaytuna Institute, where he now teaches courses on Arabic, Islamic law, history, and Islamic spirituality. And I believe you were also part of the divestment out of South Africa as well? In college while you were at Rutgers. So I welcome you, Imam Zaid Shakir.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, I noticed there's an overwhelming proportion of young people here. So